The dinner rush has just begun when the front door swings open and a sharply dressed businessman strides inside, his steps heavy with impatience. He doesn't bother to look around before dropping his briefcase onto a chair with a loud thud. Other guests glance up, startled by the sudden noise. The waitress, carrying a tray of drinks for another table, takes a steadying breath before approaching him. She's dealt with stressed customers before. "Good evening," she says warmly. "Welcome in. Can I get you something to start?" The man barely acknowledges her, muttering something in German under his breath. His tone is unmistakably belittling. He complains about the slow service and untrained staff, assuming she doesn't understand a word. A few patrons wrinkle their brows, at least two appear to recognize the language. Shifting uncomfortably but saying nothing. She responds only with a gentle nod. Her posture remains composed, though she can clearly hear every word. She asks again, kindly, "What would you like to drink, sir?" The man sighs dramatically, leaning back in his chair as though the very act of ordering is a burden. He replies again in German, louder this time, tossing in another dismissive remark about her competence. The couple seated nearest to him quietly exchange glances. Yes, they understood him perfectly, and the tension at their table tightens. The waitress keeps her eyes calm and steady, refusing to rise to the provocation. At the counter, she gives the bartender the men's drink order, this time in flawless German. Her voice is smooth, every syllable precise, almost musical. The bartender pauses mid-pour and gives her a startled look. "I had no idea you spoke German," he whispers. "I do," she replies with a small smile. Apparently, he didn't. She waits for the drink, the clinking of glassware punctuating the hum of distant conversation, and prepares herself for the moment she returns. Back at the table, she sets the drink in front of the man with genuine politeness. Then, still speaking German, she gently recites the exact phrases he used earlier, correcting his pronunciation and grammar with the grace of a language teacher guiding a beginner. The restaurant grows silent. Forks lower, conversations pause, heads turn. She explains, still utterly calm, that she understood him from the beginning. Her tone is not angry, not mocking, just steady, clear, and impossibly composed. She adds that respect is not optional in a shared space, and that kindness makes the world easier for everyone, including him. The businessman's eyes widen, and for a moment he is completely still. The red creeping up his neck reveals his embarrassment far more loudly than any words. He realizes the entire room heard him or heard her reply, too. A soft murmur ripples through the restaurant, followed by a few polite claps, then a few more. A small round of applause swells before tapering off again. He clears his throat, unable to meet her gaze. When he finally speaks, it is in English, quieter and far more measured than before. Broken bar apologize," he says, the stiffness in his voice betraying both humility and discomfort. She accepts the apology with a gentle smile, as though the incident had been nothing more than a minor misunderstanding. "Thank you," she replies. "What would you like to order for dinner?" The man sits straighter, his tone now cautious, even respectful. Around him, the restaurant slowly returns to life. Conversations resume, plates clatter. The couple who overheard release the tension in their shoulders. As she walks away, he watches her for a moment, reflecting on how confidently she carried herself. He takes a slow sip of his drink, feeling a quiet shame settle in. By the time she returns with his meal, he meets her with a sincere thank you, this time laced with genuine respect. And throughout the rest of the evening, he behaves like the kind of customer she deserved from the very beginning.